Mga kasama ang ating pinakamamahal na Pangulo, Mayor Rodrigo Roa Duterte.
Thank you. Kindly sit down. Thank you for your courtesy. I have a two-page speech prepared for you. Ang problema is this is a run-of-the-mill sa grid. Ibig sabihin, somebody would just give his ideas to the typewriter and the typewriter will just print it. But there are some circumstances or events that I would like to say something to you. Una-una, thank you for this honor and the show of your camaraderie with me as a government worker like you. You know, I am not fan of calling this place by its name. I always say my office. A little bit for a provinciano kasi. And I do not, you've never heard me address myself as president or presidential or the presidency. I always say that we are all workers in government and we work for the people, period. Now, para maintindihan ho ninyo ako, during the elections, I had but kukunti po. There were contributions, but it was not really enough to run an enterprise like a campaign na kulang yung. So I just, as I say, I received the money, the campaign contributions, I go out of the city. But wala talaga akong organized. The PDP was really moribund. Were it not for yung father and son, wala naman talaga. I'm not talking about politics, I'm talking about the vignettes of life. So, naging presidente po ako, but I did not expect even to win, much more earn that so many million votes, plus 6 million over my closest opponent. So, the one who kept faith in me, General Esperon, and mind you, si Faildon, they went back and forth sa Davao to convince me to run. And Montolfo, and Salpanelo, and Calida, and lahat ng nakakilala sa akin. You know, sa totoo lang, and please do not be offended. Kung pabalikin ako, gusto ko na lang talaga maybe for the last time, kasi I did not want to leave Davao. And Inday, yung anak ko na mayor, ayaw rin niya. She had been through 9 years and she's kind of almost pissed off if I can characterize her behavior. Kaya sabi ko, anyway, ayaw ko talaga. Sabi ko, wala akong pera, pati the position does not interest me at all. I don't know if you'd believe me because I've been mayor for 23 years, then a congressman for 1 year, then a vice mayor to my daughter, and all in all, if God willing, the years of my being a prosecutor, you add it all, it comes to like 40 years in the service of my country. Ayaw ko na talaga kasi pagod na rin ako. And I know that time was up for me. Dating mo ng 70 years old, wala na yan. I had nga may, the other, but 3 weeks ago, I had my endoscopy and colonoscopy. Then I was about to have sana ngayong cabinet meeting yesterday, but yung reading ng aking somebody advised my doctor just also to repeat and get some samples there, both dito uli. So I stayed there for 1 hour sa Cardinal Santos. So, hindi ko pa masabi kung meron ba talaga akong tama o wala. But I have this Barrett and it has been bothering me ever since. Dahil nga sa inom rin. There are people predisposed to Barrett kasi yung hindi nagsasira yung alam mo, pag kahiga ka, when you lie down, there's that cap na nagsisira rin. So, the acid of the stomach does not reach the esophagus. Corrosive yan eh. This one is built to withstand grinding and digesting, but ito dito hindi. So if you get there, yung parang gumaganong ka sa umaga, that's geared, reflux, napabayaan ko kasi hindi ako naghinto ng inom. Kaya nga, wala na. Sisisi, gano'n na lang eh. It always comes late. So, it got worse. I don't know where I'm now physically, but I have to wait for that. But I would tell you that if it's cancer, it's cancer. And if it's third stage, no more treatment. I will not prolong my agony in this office or anywhere. Ang nanalo ako, sir, even during the presidential debates, I'm sure that many of you had seen it. Wala ako masyadong sinabi because at 1 minute 30 seconds, it was really foolish. Alam mo yung mga gano'n na klaseng sabihin ko sa iyo, para lang yan sa mga, for the negosyo yan eh. When you allow debates, you allow sufficient time for the candidates to expound and explain and justify. But 1 minute 6 seconds, pang negosyo lang yan, sir. Totoo lang. Wala talaga. So I had bullets only. Being a trial lawyer, I know the constraints of time. So ang bullet ko was that I stop corruption. If I can, then sa drugs, which was the most pressing and urgent problem for all of us here. Then that I will talk to the enemies of the state so that we can save lives. And I will not fuck with the money of the people. And I will do everything to just invite business. I think, sir, that maybe dito sa fifth, less because of the dynamics of our country. At ako naman, I'm trying to explain to everybody, and you would notice it, that every time there is an increase in oil, everything increases. That's what inflation is all about. Wala man akong masabi, but I assume for responsibility for the rising prices because I'm here. I am the worker assigned here to answer for all of these things. Wala mo rin akong magawa na every time there's a rise of oil, everything also rises. Pero itong dito ako, sir, sa mag-concentrate sa corruption. I am doing it. For God's sake, I am doing it. So much so, na ayaw kong makontaminate ako. And I assure you, and you can ask all the cabinet members present. Diyan sila nandito, almost all. Jal Anyo, Jal Lorenzana, si Jal Esperon. I do not allow transactions of government to reach my table here or in the house. Across. Wala ako, sir, hinahawakan. Kaya I can tell you bluntly, wala silang makita sa akin ni piso because I do not sign any transaction. Be it MRT, LRT, reclamation, or whatever. Purchase of arms, it's Lorenzana's territory. Kasi DILG, nandito sila, sir. And pati si General Galvez. I do not call anybody. I have not called him since si General Galvez. I have not called I have not called Delvin Lorenzana, even for a talk. I have not called General Anyo. The only time that I ask him questions is pag ipatawag ko sila if I have an urgent or immediate situation. But I do not, kasi, and you can listen to the tapes. Kasi alam ko ang ISAP, pati ang ISAP ko isali mo ako. Kasi, I'm a politician. At I talk with everybody. Especially so. Kaya dito yung nangyari sa frigate, ganito yan eh. I told everybody, every businessman, na kung ang reklamo mo, graft and corruption, you can come to me anytime dito sa Malacanang and tell me about it. So kaya yung nag-deliver ng he was complaining bakit wala pang order to deliver. That was his only complaint there. So I entertained him because lahat ng mga tao na may reklamo ng ganon, lalo na graft and corruption. So pumunta dito, si Secretary Lorenzana naman, referring it to the legal. Tapos somebody got told of it and wala namang yung frigate na tapos naman yun. When everything was done, kaya nga sabi ko tuloy kay Bong when he was summoned by the Senate, and they said that they wanted a closed door. Sabi ko, Bong, huwag kang pumayag. Sabihin mo sa kanila, I will not go there if it is a closed door meeting. Whoever gets hurt there, we have no connection with it. Open and huwag kang pumayag ng marami pang speculative. They can always weave tales. Ganun yan eh. So, open. Wala akong that's the first encounter lang, sir, na and it frigate, it was complete, it was delivered, and I had nothing to do with it. Kaya, ang sa corruption, hinahabol ko talaga lahat. I just fired a general kasi, well, command responsibility if he had nothing to do with it. But the problem is, matiis ko pa siguro yung conversion sa gasolina para spare part. Pero yung medisina ng pulis, pati sa sundalo. I've been to Marawi 9 times during the war. And I used to go to the makeshift hospital doon. I could see the soldiers slowly bleeding. Kaya talaga ako nagalit. Talagang whoever fault it is, I don't give it a damn. If there was a ghost delivery, there was a ghost that somebody has to answer for it. Kaya I fired it. Command responsibility mo. And to think that it was medicines. Kung gasolina lang yun, siguro kalimutan ko, do not do it again. Parang ganon. Ako ganon sa Davao. Pagka yung lang, pero as serious as tapos ghost delivery, talagang away ang abuti natin dito. Wala akong magawa. I cannot. For the life of me. Sabi ko, huwag ninyong laruan yung medisina. Because I've been mayor and I've seen so many of my countrymen dying na walang mga ganon-ganon. But you've been to Davao. And look at Davao. Hindi naman, it's not extra safe, but Davao is really, it's clean, it's progressing, it's earning 9%, the highest in the country for a local government in a local economy. That's my legacy to the, kaya ayaw kong bitawan. One of the reasons also I did not like to run because ayaw kong bitawan, takot ako. Because my daughter, ayaw na niyan tumakbo as mayor. Doon nagkaletse-letse until na yung deadline. Ayaw talaga ni Inday eh. Ay, si Bong, sabi ko, Bong, huwag kasi sit-sit sa akin dito. Yung talagang pressure na grabe na, I was, okay, I'll think about it. But when we ask Inday to run, sabi Inday, no. You are too presumptuous. Nagka-problema. Sinabi ko sa kanilang lahat. Lahat. Sila, pati si, I will not run if the Davao is left to somebody else. Sayang ang pagod ko, sir. Sayang talaga ang pumatay ako, pinakastos ako ng panahon. I remember campaigning. I remember being hostage by the NPA. I remember I was tried in a kangaroo court. Ano ng sakripisyo ko while I was going up. Manghinayang ako. And I thought at that time that when was an M14 was nakatutok dyan sa Paradise Imbak. I thought, ang naisip ko lang was my wife who was pregnant with itong si Sebastian. Turned out to be, wala mo rin ginawa kung hindi magbabae. Doon sana, nag-suicide na rin ako. Kukonsume ako nito. But anyway, ayaw ko talagang umuha. So they were able to convince